Hello, it's Melinda from Scrapbooking and Craft, just coming on with Mission Inspiration July, getting the right month. It's actually now the first week of August, but we've eventually got it done. July's just been super busy and I sort of didn't get around to it. But that's alright, so just holding my phone there with the instructions. I'll put a link to the Facebook group below. So if you don't know about Mission Inspiration, it's a 10-step journal page and you follow the steps in order and create a journal page. They're quite general, so you can interpret them as literally or as as creatively as you want. I was trying to think of a word then and I couldn't. So the first step for July was add base page colour with a baby white. So I used some of this, this lighting is going to annoy me tonight, Mikador metallic paint. It's very translucent. Actually, go back one step. I'm actually working in my wine book again, so it's my recycled book. So this page had text all over it and it had like an advertisement of wine up here, so hence why you see the text in the background. So I use this metallic paint and it's very translucent, almost like a glaze. So I applied that with a baby wipe all over and you can see the text can still show through. So I liked that about the text. Next step was glue tissue or napkin fragments, and because later on there's a song prompt, I actually glued Tim Holtz tissue paper, oh, I can't think of the words tonight, music note tissue paper in the background, so I sort of stuck that all over the page. So just making sure the whole book is in there. So the next step was add a thin layer of white gesso or paint. So I did a thin layer of gesso, a very thin layer of gesso, just to put some, tone down the blue a little. It was a bit metallic-y and blue. Add texture paste to a stencil. So I actually used a, can't show you the stencil, it's in the kitchen drying, a reverse brick stencil. So I stenciled this part all across the bottom here. The reverse brick is actually well, 2 seconds and I'll grab it because it's easy to explain. Sorry, I'm very disorganised tonight and I'm not editing videos at the moment because I haven't got my editing software yet, so you have to bear with me. So this is the reverse brick stencil. So you should be able to see that. So instead of making big blob, the bricks, the actual colour, you're only putting like little lines here and there, like the mortar lines. So it works really well, and that's one of the ones that I've designed and I sell in my store. So I did the bricks continuously across the bottom. Then it said add 2 contrasting colours. So I thought I'd do some leaves and flowers with red and green paint up here. So I painted sort of round circles with flowers and I painted sort of leafy shapes and they just looked horrid. I'm not very good at straight painting. So I left it there. You can sort of see bits of it shining through here. But the next step actually allowed me to cover it all up, which was cool. So add book text fragments. So what I did with my book text is I actually got several colours of green paint. Just reaching for the waste bits to show you. So I took several sheets of book paper and put several different types of green paint on them, and they were just cheap kids paints. So we've got a Montmartre one, this one, a Mikador one again is very translucent. It's actually this paint here, and I've actually plotted it on really thick to get a bit of colour. Whoops, that's the red one I used, and just a Canson green one as well. So 3 green paints, and I just scraped them across the book paper with a credit card. Then I I can't talk this evening, what is it? I ran the book paper through my Cuttlebug with this stencil, or this die cutter, so it's got 3 leaves on it. It's a really old one by Cuttlebug. So as you can see, I cut out I think 6 or 7, 8 sheets of it in the different colours, and I've got these waste bits which I'm going to do something with eventually. I don't know what yet. I'll put them in the to keep pile and deal with another day pile. So what I did was sort of all around the frame up here on top of where I'd painted, I sat and Mod Podged quite a few leaves. So you can sort of see the book text on the leaves. So I just did And because there's 3 styles of leaves, there's like this one, and this one, it sort of went really well. So I scattered those all around. And it was starting to look okay at that point because I covered up my horrible painting just looking at my phone. To see the next one. Stamp, images or pattern. So I wanted to fix up the flowers. So I couldn't find my black ink pad to directly stamp on the page, and I didn't really want black anyway. So I decided to use a distress ink in Picked Raspberry. And I used this stamp set here. Now this is a really cheap one from Australia. I don't even have the packaging for it. Let me see if I can find something white to put underneath it. So sorry about the lighting. If I go too high, the light that's shining on my book disappears. So I used this little rose here. So I stamped it out lots and lots of times with just the distress ink. And sat there and fussy cut them all out. I was in a good mood last night just to sit and fussy cut stuff. So I sat and fussy cut all those out and sort of grouped them together. I was stamping on scrap paper and there was some little hearts on the scrap paper, so I cut a couple of those out and stuck them on as well. I cheated. And then the next step was, so I liked the flowers after that. Add focal images or shapes, and then I was stuck. I've got this beautiful thing at the top and I'm going, what am I going to do? So I pulled out some really, really old K & Company die cuts, birds and flowers and mushrooms and things that I've had for a few years, and I'd scanned some of them and printed them off. So some of them are scanned and some of them are the original pieces. So I sort of put this one, this big leaf here with a caterpillar. I never knew where I was going to use that one, but it just sort of worked there. I've got a few little flies, I think, or they're not butterflies, I think they're flies. So I've got a fly there, a fly there and a fly there. A birdie over here, he almost blends in. I didn't want them really to be in your face. And then this brick wall was looking really dull and really it was just the brick wall. So I was like, what am I going to do with that? And I had all these mushrooms, so I sat and fussy cut all these little mushrooms last night. Glad I didn't do this as a process video because you'd be still watching me fussy cut mushrooms out. So I sat and cut and fussy cut all those mushrooms. I'm actually loving this page because it's got so many layers of paper. It's quite thick now, the pages, which is really cool. And it's got a nice gloss to it because I used Mod Podge, or nice matte finish. I used Mod Podge to put them all down. So the next thing was add song lyrics. So I didn't really have any song lyrics in mind, so I went and Googled, and I can't even remember what the song is now. But I just wrote, it said it had to be in your handwriting, and I don't really like my handwriting, but I do like how it come out. I sort of didn't want you to be able to read it that well, so I sort of want it scripty. So I said, keep chasing butterflies and rainbows, pick the flowers when they bloom, reach out for a star and you might land upon the moon, keep chasing butterflies and rainbows. That was just a verse from the song I liked. I just googled butterfly. And it doesn't really have a butterfly on the page now, I've realised, because they're like flowers and bees and mushrooms, but it doesn't matter. The last step was to add a border. I really didn't know what to do with a border. So what I just ended up taking was my black Sharpie that I used for the, not that one didn't work, this one, just a black Sharpie, and I just sort of edged around the edge and it just finished off the page. I do have a couple of little bits here I have to cut off, which I'll do that after the video. I will pick it up and see if I can give you some close-ups. Or I might be able to zoom it in. Let me see. So these are some of the close-ups. I can't go too close because of the lighting arrangement, but that'll give you a bit of a close-up of all the leaves. You can see the different layers of leaves and all the mushrooms down the bottom. And there's more mushrooms on this page. I'm trying to feed it between my legs and my tripod. At the moment I'm working with a horrible setup to film, but I'm hoping in about 3 weeks' time I'll have a couple of overhead lights to film with and a better desk and some more space. Yay, hopefully. Hopefully. I'm just trying to reorganise things in the house at the moment. So that is my mission inspiration July. I now have August to do, so I will get on and do August, except this is a very busy month for me at work at the moment. So we'll see how we go. But thank you for watching. Sorry about my babbling tonight. I'm super tired and trying to do 100 things at once and wanted to get this filmed. Thank you for watching. enjoy doing Mission Inspiration. It is lots of fun. If you've never tried it, I'll put the link to the Facebook group below. You don't even have to do them in the month. If you want to do, they started in January, I believe. If you want to start with January or just start with August, it's entirely up to you. And you can interpret, that was the word I was looking for before, interpret the prompts as creatively as you like. If you don't have something that the prompt says, just use something that's very similar or just make do. So they try to make it general so everyone can play along, which is really nice. As it says, use stamped images. Everyone's got a stamp of some kind, or you can make a handmade stamp, or you can use anything you like to make a stamped type image. Anyway, I've babbled enough. I will say goodbye. Catch up with you again soon. Bye for now.